Welcome to part 12 of refurbishing a vintage model steamboat, and this one's all about mounting the gas burner and raising steam. The gas burner's mounting is fairly critical. I wanted it to be attached to the boiler and removable from the boat in one piece, without putting any stress on the boiler. On the bottom of the boiler, as you can see here, there are two blind bushes. I asked for these to be fitted, so Chris Lyle, who built the boiler, fitted them for me. It's not an original idea. Mike Abbott at Max Steam used to use it all the time, and it was a very useful way of fastening down the boiler. But in this case, I couldn't use the bushes because of the layout of the boat. Whilst I've been talking about the mountings, you will see that I've made a fitting. This is a simple piece of 1/8 flat brass bar silver soldered onto the end of this 1/4 inch flat bar, and then by using the rounded end of the linisher, the roller end, I grind it away to fit the boiler accurately, and then it's simply secured with one countersunk 2BA bolt. When the boiler's in position in the boat, most of this flat bar is going to be supported by the main floor pan that sits in the bottom of the boat. In any case, this is going to have to be cut short because it's far too long to go into the boat at the length it is at the moment, and I was hoping to build in an integral gas canister support. So I marked it off to the end of the canister, but it got shorter and shorter because every time I cut off an inch of it, it still wouldn't go in the boat, and finally I get it to this length. The boiler's actually put into position from the front of the boat through a hatch, but I have to put this shaft in first, move it up to the front of the boat inside the boat, and then move it back into position. So this really was the final length. Any longer and it just would not fit. And believe me, it only just fits in the boat with this length of bar sticking out from the end of the boiler. The next part is to make a suitable mounting for the burner, and I did this by mitering two pieces of this brass and silver soldering them together. Because there's plenty of surface area, this is a very strong joint, so I cleaned it up a bit on the linisher, then I put it in the milling machine, and I also thinned it out a little bit, because there weren't too many threads on the bolt that holds the burner in place. And here you can see the principle. I also milled a long slot in the bottom of the bracket, and this will allow me to move the burner towards the boiler or further away from it. And it will also then allow me to get the most efficient position to get the maximum heat. In this clip I'm cutting a pair of 2BA threads in the mounting bar, and by using two stainless steel 2BA bolts with washers, I'll be able to clamp the burner head bracket in place when I find the best position for it. And in order to find the optimum position, I need to see how good it is at raising steam. So no more putting the burner in without any water. Here I'm filling the boiler up. It's okay putting a burner into a boiler for a few seconds, as you've seen me doing over the last couple of episodes, but to hold it there for a prolonged period would probably do some damage, so obviously it's easier to fill it up with water. In no time at all, the water coming out of the water gauge blowdown is quite warm, and after a few more minutes it's really starting to get hot. And whilst the boiler's steadily raising steam, I'll put the chimney in place, and doing this has an immediate silencing effect on the burner. And the good news is there's no howling. If this was a ceramic burner, there'd be a howling noise by now, which is really annoying, and you have to tweak the gas valve just to get it to stop howling. Then the pressure drops and you have to turn the gas valve up. But with this system, it should be turn on the gas, light the burner, wait until steam is raised, and sail around the lake, which is really what we need it to do. I played about with the position of this burner, and the ones I'm showing on the video were the important positions. The best position I found was to have the burner head about 1/2 inch from the flue. If I pushed the burner head inside the flue, then the flame got unstable and popped and backfired. So this is going to be the position. If I pulled the burner back, it was okay, but it didn't raise steam quite as quickly. I've been watching the steam coming out of the top of the boiler, and as I move the position of the burner either towards or away from the boiler, you can clearly see an increase or decrease in the amount of steam coming out of the holes at the top of the boiler. This was quite surprising. I didn't think it would be that sensitive. The time is close to getting the plant into the boat. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found it useful.